Hello, my friends. Good evening. In just a few minutes, it'll be midnight, and right past midnight, it'll be November the 4th of 2025. Very significant date in American politics because it's election day 2025. Now, anyone who has not been paying attention, you may be asking the question, Tassif, didn't we just have an election last year, November 2024? Well, yes, we did. But there's also another election date, and that's November 4th of 2025, which is going to be in just a couple of minutes. And that's because there will be elections in New York, in New Jersey, in Virginia, and also in California. There's Proposition 50 on the ballot in California. So it's quite a significant date. And I don't know what kind of prediction to make, to be honest with you. But I want to emphasize one thing. If you live in New York City, go vote. If you live in New Jersey, you have a big gubernatorial race, go vote in New Jersey. If you are in Virginia, you got to go vote. There's the gubernatorial race, there's the attorney general's race. You got to go vote in Virginia. And if you're in California, you have to go vote. So, to all the U.S. citizens, got to go vote. If you are in New York City, if you are in New Jersey, if you're in Virginia, and if you're in California, my friends, as a U.S. citizen, I understand voting rights. But I must highlight to you that voting is not just a right, it is also a responsibility. Let's see. We got, wow, lots of people coming in. Wonderful. Thanks for being here. Frank is here. Richard is here. There are others who are tuning in. Wonderful. So, if you live in New York City, please let me know in the live chat. If you live in New Jersey, let me know in the live chat. If you live in Virginia, let me know in the live chat. If you live in California, let me know in the live chat, my friends, because I want to hear your opinion on some of these races. Okay? Go ahead, let me know. So the states that are going to be voting on November the 4th, okay? There are multiple states that are going to be voting on November 4th. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll talk about New Jersey, I'll talk about Virginia, I'll talk about New York and California. Okay? So my friends, when we talk about New Jersey, when we talk about Virginia, New York, California, remember that these are primarily blue states. These are primarily Democrat-heavy states. Now, in the case of Virginia, it's a little different because Virginia tends to be blue, but at the same time, 4 years ago, which was 2021, we saw major Republican victories in Virginia. Do you remember 2021? 2021, that was when Glenn Youngkin was elected governor, and Jason Miyares elected attorney general. Winsome Earl Sears, she was elected lieutenant governor. And so in 2021, there were some major victories for the Republicans in Virginia. And my friends, there was a lot of excitement back then, because I remember 2021 like it was just yesterday. You know, that's how fast time seems to fly. And so there was excitement, but overall, if you go back to 2021 November, you can remember that the overall political landscape was not that favorable for the Republicans. There was a lot of frustration among the Republicans back in 2021. Why? Because people were still dealing with the frustration of the November 2020 election results. So November 2020 election results and all the controversy surrounding it, I'm not going to go into it. Whenever people ask me, hey, Tausif, what do you think about November 2020 election? What are your thoughts? We're like 5 years away from that election day. But let me ask you, what are your thoughts? I say, Donald Trump is my president. That's all I said. And people tell me, no, I'm asking about November 2020. And I say, yeah, Donald Trump's my president. So I hope that explains to you what I think about November 2020. Okay? I'll keep it at that, and I'll let you draw your own conclusion. November 2020, you mentioned November 2020 to me, I'll say Donald Trump is my president. So, November 2020, obviously, what eventually happened, Joe Biden entered the White House. He somehow managed to get the title of president. So that was the ultimate outcome of November 2020. But I'll still say Donald Trump's my president. Okay? And I said it back then too. Anyway, so the next year, you look at November 2021, just a year out from the November 2020 election, the Republicans were feeling, many, I wouldn't say everyone, but many Republicans were feeling frustrated. They were not happy. And Joe Biden, as soon as he entered the White House, he started pushing for really awful policies, okay? I mean, that was an administration that pretty much did everything wrong, okay? Almost everything wrong. You look at energy, you look at transportation, you look at overall business climate, you look at international relations, almost everything went in the wrong direction. And so you look at November 2021, there's a lot of frustration among the Republican voters, and things were not looking that great. And obviously, it's kind of an odd year because 2021 is not your regular election year, right? 2020, I mean, people usually, when they think of elections, they primarily think of the presidential years, the presidential elections, and then people who pay more attention, they pay attention to the midterm elections, which are also even numbered years. So 2016 presidential year, 2018 midterm, 2020 presidential, 2022 midterm, 2024 presidential, 2026 midterm. But 2021, it's kind of an odd year, okay? But not in Virginia. That's when they have these elections. So 2021 November, great results for the Republicans in Virginia. Massive victories. And that pretty much gave us hope. I remember, like coming out of 2020, so much of sadness, so much of frustration. And then in 2021, we see that in a blue state like Virginia, there's this massive victory by Republicans, Glenn Youngkin, Winsome Earl Sears, Jason Miyares, and hold on. Hold on a second, my friends. So that gave us hope. Although it was in Virginia, that was a very state-specific victory, but it gave hope to the Republicans countrywide. Because we were watching, we were seeing, hey, Glenn Youngkin's winning. Glenn Youngkin did great. Winsome Earl Sears, Jason Miyares, amazing victory. Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Attorney General in Virginia. So if we can win in Virginia, we can win elsewhere. And that created the momentum heading into the midterm election of 2022. I remember that. Listen, I don't know how long, like since when you've been involved in politics. I don't know since when you've started paying attention to politics and keeping track of the different races and different elections and different candidates and who's on the ballot, which incumbent is running for re-election, which incumbent is not running for re-election. You know, I don't know how frequently or how attentively you keep track of all this, but I have been doing this for many years. Not live streams, not live streams. I've been keeping track of the political world for many years. I have been involved in politics myself for many years. I'm still very involved in politics. And I have seen the different cycles. I've seen victories and losses and victories and losses and victories and losses. I've seen the majority change. I've seen the Republicans gaining majority and then the Republicans losing majority and then gaining majority again. I've seen all that. I've seen how Donald Trump got elected. And then I saw 2020. And then I saw 2024 and all the midterms in between. So my friends, I can tell you that when the Republicans won in Virginia, that was a major victory that gave us hope going into 2022. And November 4th, if you live in New York City, if you are a U.S. citizen living in New York City or living in New Jersey or living in Virginia, living in California, you gotta go vote. People talk about voting rights. Yes, U.S. citizens have the right to vote, but they also have the responsibility to vote. You must go and vote. Vote for common sense. Vote for candidates who will protect your freedom. Vote for candidates who believe in the rule of law. Vote for candidates who believe in common sense. In Virginia, my friends, what can I tell you? The election's very important. And I'll tell you what our great President Donald J. Trump said. President Donald J. Trump, he encouraged the voters in both New Jersey and Virginia. He said, let me just read to you what he said. He said, for all those people voting in New Jersey and Virginia for governor, attorney general, or any other position, please remember this. Please remember this. A Republican vote means a drastic drop in energy prices and energy costs, a drop like you've never seen before. A Republican vote means a drastic drop in energy prices and energy costs, a drop like you've never seen before. A Democrat vote means a doubling and even tripling of your energy bills and prices, traditionally the highest cost of an American citizen. Energy is the lifeblood of our economy. Do I have to tell you that again, my friends? You're probably saying, Tassif, we know it. We know it. We know that energy is the lifeblood of the economy. So if we have affordable energy, everything's going to be great. The whole economy is going to be great. So let me read to you what President Trump wrote. He said, if you vote Republican, your energy costs are going to go down tremendously. If you vote Democrat, your energy costs are going to go through the roof, making energy virtually unaffordable for you and your family to pay. And President Trump further said, also remember that if you don't go to the polls and vote, it's the same thing as voting for a Democrat. So go to the polls and cut your energy costs in half. And how you do that? By voting for Republicans, my friends. Easy to remember, vote for Republicans. If you are in New Jersey, if you are in Virginia, you gotta go and vote for Republicans. Thank you for being here, my friends. Thank you all for being here. Are you going to go vote if you are in one of these states? Are you going to go vote? Let me know. Let me know in the live chat. So in Virginia, if you are in Virginia, vote Republican. For governor, for attorney general, vote Republican. If you are in New Jersey, this is going to be, I don't know, I'm not going to predict, but this is going to be a very closely watched election in New Jersey. My friends, I'm gonna pull up some polls here. New Jersey. Are we going to win? Are we going to win in New Jersey? The gubernatorial race in New Jersey, there's no way to tell who's going to win. It is real close. New Jersey, typically, it's a blue state. I think we understand that. It's a blue state. But there is possibility for a Republican victory in New Jersey. Now, New Jersey is next door to New York. So the left-wing policies seem to spread from New York to New Jersey. But you know what? November 4th, 2025, that is today. It's an opportunity for the freedom-loving people of New Jersey to say, we're going to reject the Democrats. We're going to say no to woke. We're going to say no to inflation. We're going to say no to the Democrats. Elect Republican. The gubernatorial race. I understand. It is New Jersey. I understand it's difficult for a Republican to win in a state like New Jersey. Trust me, I get it. I'm very well aware of the trends, of the political trends in New Jersey. I understand the demographics. I understand the voting patterns. But you know what? Never give up hope. You may think, oh, it's New Jersey, the Democrats going to win. Never give up hope. We may have a massive Republican victory there. You got to go vote for the Republican candidate in New Jersey, my friends. Are you listening to me? Are you listening? Why don't you let me know? Just say Tausif. We get it. Thank you, my friends. Two candidates, Mikey Sherrill, the Democrat, Jack Ciattarelli. By the way, I can't pronounce his last name very well, so forgive me if I'm not saying it 100% correctly. I know how to spell it. It's hard to pronounce the last name, Ciattarelli. I think that's what it is, right? Or if you think I'm not pronouncing it correctly, you can correct me. You can say, Tausif, that's not correct. Jamie is here. Hi, Jamie. Kristen's here. Hi, Kristen. Jason's here. Jason says Trump. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see who else is here. Let's see who else is here. By the way, my friends, please subscribe if you have not done so already. I would appreciate that. So I'm looking at the poll numbers for the New Jersey gubernatorial race, and I can tell you that the difference between the two candidates, that difference has been getting narrower and narrower. It's a Democrat heavy state. Mikey Sherrill was way ahead, but now things are becoming very challenging for Mikey Sherrill. And Jack Ciattarelli, it seems like he can win. There's no guarantee. It's still going to be an uphill battle for the Republican, but it's not impossible. You look at the real clear polling average right now as I'm looking at it, 2025 New Jersey governor, Ciattarelli versus Sherrill. What do you see? You see that Sherrill, if you look at the RCP average, real clear polling average, Sherrill is up by 3.3 percentage point. Now that's not a lot. And it is a poll. It is the average. 3.3, the RCP average of 3.3. It tells you that Mikey Sherrill is ahead, but it also tells you that you cannot predict the final outcome. It depends on voter turnout. This is going to be a real test of political strategy. It's going to be a real test of ground game. Have you heard the term ground game? Ground game means it's about mobilizing the grassroots, getting all the voters out to vote, letting them know how important this is for the future of New Jersey and for the future of the country. If the Republicans can win this race in New Jersey, it's going to boost Republicans' chances of victory in 2026. Evelyn's here. Evelyn, good to see you. Good to see you, Evelyn. Thanks for being here. Our friend Evelyn from Nevada is here. Evelyn, if you have thoughts regarding the Virginia or the New Jersey governor's race, let us know. So, I am not going to make a prediction. I will tell you what the facts are, and the facts are that the Democrats have a clear advantage in the New Jersey gubernatorial race. Clearly, the Democrats have the advantage, but the Republicans have been catching up. It's all about the ground game. It's all about the grassroots. It's going to be a real test. You know, at the end of tomorrow night, the New Jersey Republicans are going to know if their strategies have worked. And if Chittorelli wins, the Republicans will be able to proudly say, you know what? I think we got the recipe for success. We know what works. We know what works. We got the recipe for success. Let's build on this. Let's improve this for future races, for future elections. That's what the Republicans are going to say if they can defeat Mikey Sherrill tomorrow. Not tomorrow, today. It's already November 4th, today. But if Mikey Sherrill wins, if the Republicans lose, it's going to be sad, clearly. I'm not going to say, oh, we're going to be fine. No, it's going to be sad. It'll be like, we got a chance and we couldn't do it. I'm going to be honest in my, you know, I'm going to be honest in sharing with you what I exactly think. If Mikey Sherrill wins tomorrow, the Republicans are going to have to figure out the path forward in New Jersey. You know, this gubernatorial race is going to show if the Republicans can win in New Jersey now and going forward. If we lose this one, it's going to be pretty sad, and many people are going to feel, in New Jersey especially, many people are going to feel, you know, pretty, I don't know what the right word is, but they're going to feel like, oh, we worked so hard, and at the end, nothing mattered. What can we do? So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Hard to say. Virginia, New Jersey, really hard to say. Now let's talk about New York. Who wants to talk about New York? I have talked about New York before. Do you think we're done talking about New York City? We're done talking about the mayoral race? Or do you think that we should have another conversation? It's already election day. It's already election day, November 4th. You want to talk about that race? Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win? Is it going to be Curtis Sliwa? I don't think so. And I say that with a lot of sadness. I don't think Curtis Sliwa is going to win. Too bad. He can't. There's no way. Statistically, he's so far behind. There's no way that he's going to catch up. So it's going to come down to Zoran Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo. And I think we all understand that. No matter who you support, Mamdani or Cuomo, no matter what your political beliefs are, no matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat, I think we all understand that it's a fight between Zoran Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo. Now, we ended up in New York City, ended up seeing two Democrats running against each other. Well, for technical reasons, I think Cuomo identifies as an independent right now, just to be on the ballot. But he's a Democrat, so it's a Democrat versus Democrat race. And the Republican candidate is so far behind. And this is really sad. But I don't know what to say. Now, we saw President Trump making some announcements. This is almost like last minute. President Trump posted on Truth Social, and I'm going to read to you what he wrote. Hold on a second. He wrote, he identified Zoran Mamdani using the word communist. He wrote, if communist candidate Zoran Mamdani wins the election for the mayor of New York City, It is highly unlikely that I'll be contributing federal funds other than the very minimum as required to my beloved first home because of the fact that as a communist, this once great city has zero chance of success or even survival. Yeah, talk about economic survival, my friends. How is New York City going to survive economically if there's a communist mayor? This is unacceptable. And it is scary how we got to this point. DSAR, good to see you. So DSAR is writing, is that an endorsement? Is that an endorsement for Cuomo, right? Is that an endorsement for Cuomo? Okay, let me just say, good question, DSAR. I'm not going to read the whole post from President Trump, but I'm going to read this. President Trump wrote on Truth Social, he wrote, a vote for Curtis Sliwa is a vote for Mamdani. Whether you personally like Andrew Cuomo or not, you really have no choice. You must vote for him and hope he does a fantastic job. He is capable of it. Mamdani is not. End quote. I mean, this is the harsh reality that New York is facing right now. This is the harsh reality. If you like Curtis Sliwa, and Curtis Sliwa is well liked, people like him. I never met him, so I can't personally tell you what I think of him because I never had the opportunity to meet Curtis Sliwa, but you follow the news about him, you follow his media appearances, you listen to him talk, you can tell he's a good man. You can tell that he cares deeply about the city, Curtis Sliwa. But you know what? The reality is that there's no way that Curtis Sliwa can win this one. So all those people who are going to go and vote for Curtis Sliwa, it's really at this point, you vote for Curtis Sliwa instead of Cuomo, then Mamdani will end up winning if that happens. So this is the reality. You got to be practical. Which President Trump said, whether you personally like Andrew Cuomo or not, you really have no choice. You got to vote for Andrew Cuomo at this point. It is what it is. It's damage control. It is damage control. I mean, with Andrew Cuomo, there's no guarantee that you're going to love his policies. If you are a Republican watching in New York City, if you are a Republican and you're waiting for morning, you want to go and vote, and you lean towards Curtis Sliwa, great. But you do realize if you vote for Curtis Sliwa, there's no way that he's gonna win statistically. It's just not possible at this point. So you may not like Andrew Cuomo. If he gets elected, he may propose some policies that you don't like, but it's not going to be as crazy as the ones that Mamdani will push for. Because, at the end of the day, Andrew Cuomo is not a communist. He's not. If anyone tells you, oh, Cuomo is a communist, no, that's not the truth. Yeah, he's a politician on the left. He's a Democrat. And I can criticize Andrew Cuomo all day. I can pinpoint his political views, his policies, his political record, and I can criticize him all day. But if Mamdani wins the mayoral race, it's going to be a total nightmare for New York City. It's going to be far worse than what you can imagine. It's going to be far worse than your worst nightmare. New York City's economy will be destroyed. The economy, the financial condition of New York City is gonna, it's going to plunge. People will leave. There are people who are waiting eagerly to see what the results of the mayoral race is going to be. They're ready. They're going to pack their bags. They're going to leave New York City if Mamdani wins. They're going to take their business. They're going to take their everything. They're probably going to sell their house and move out to Texas or Florida. That's what they're going to do. I'm telling you the truth. People are ready. They're just hoping and praying that Mamdani does not win. And if he wins, people are going to leave. Where are they going to go? They can go anywhere. But they will likely go to Texas or to Florida. Because Texas and Florida are two amazing states with great governors, well managed. All right. Let's see. Somebody's asking, what's your opinion on ICE? Well, I support ICE. Absolutely. I strongly support ICE. In fact, why don't we do this? If you're watching this, my freedom-loving friends, please say, thank you, ICE. And you know what? Here's what I think. We need more ICE agents. Do you agree with me? We need more ICE agents. Thousands and thousands, maybe tens of thousands of more ICE agents, because a lot of people are still in the US, people who should be deported. And so in order to carry out mass deportations, we need more ICE agents. All right, let's see. Yeah, lots of ICE agents we need. By the way, my friends, if you are here for the first time, please make sure that you subscribe. I would appreciate that very, very much. Okay. Yeah, I would appreciate you being here and subscribing. Okay. All right. So, my friends, hold on a second here. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you all for being here. So as I was saying, the future of New York will depend on the mayoral race. And you know, it's sad that These are the choices that people have. Either Zoran Mamdani or Andrew Cuomo. I wish that the Republicans in New York would have found a really awesome and truly energetic and someone relatively younger, okay, candidate. But it's a missed opportunity, and now people are having to choose between Zoran Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo. And Mamdani is leading by a lot. Cuomo really doesn't have much chance of victory, if I want to present to you the true picture. And so let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Selena is here. Hi, Selena. Good to see you. Okay, Edwin's here. Hi, Edwin. And there are others. Okay, so now let's talk about California. I mean, why is it that no matter what we do, we always end up talking about California? California has so many problems. They have Proposition 50 on the ballot in California. Okay? So, Proposition 50, what does it really do? Well, first of all, there's a statewide special election, November 4th, that is today, 2025, and there's Proposition 50 on the ballot. And Proposition 50, what it does is it authorizes temporary changes to congressional district maps in response to Texas's redistricting. So, I mean, this is the entire idea behind Proposition 50, that, oh, Texas is doing redistricting, we're going to do it too. We're going to authorize temporary changes to congressional district maps in response to what Texas did. So, Proposition 50, here's the summary. It would require temporary use of new congressional district maps through the year 2030. Okay? And how should you vote? That's the question people may ask. All right. Because, it's not a clear-cut thing. It's not like, there are candidates on the ballot and you pick a candidate. This is a proposition, Proposition 50, pertaining to redistricting, pertaining to congressional maps. But I can explain this to you in much simpler language rather than, oh, it's a proposition number 50, oh, it's temporary changes to congressional district maps and blah, blah, blah. In short, this is an effort by the Democrats in California. This is an effort by the Democrats in California to gerrymander further. If you ask me, Tausif, what is one thing that the Democrats are really good at? Is there something from all the years that you've been in politics, you've seen different things, you follow state and local politics, national politics, what do you think the one thing is? Can you tell us something that the Democrats are really good at? They are good at gerrymandering. That's what they do. They creatively draw all kinds of strange lines to come up with strange looking maps, congressional maps, and they do that to basically unfairly favor the Democrats. So the Democrats love strange looking maps that favor the Democrat candidates. That's how they try to hold on to power. It is really a power grab. That's what they do with these maps. The Democrats gerrymander so that they can hold on to power. Very simple. And that's what they're trying to do with this Proposition 50. And you know what? Gavin Newsom wants people to vote yes. Gavin Newsom is hoping for high turnout today. Hold on a second. Gavin Newsom wants people to go to the polls and vote in support of Proposition 50. But if you are a freedom-loving American living in California, if you believe in common sense, if you believe that the Democrats' attempt to grab more power must be stopped, then vote no. Don't support Proposition 50. Evelyn says MAGA. Thank you, Evelyn. Let me do one interesting thing here. All right, I just turned off the subscriber only mode. So, yeah, anyone can comment right now. I turned off the subscriber only. Okay, let's see. Maybe all the trolls are gonna come back. Michael Brown says, let the trolls back in. Evelyn says, oh great. Yeah, let's see if they come back or not. Someone says, open the floodgates. I feel like the volume of comments just goes up, right? A viewer saying, vote MAGA. All right. All right. So anyway, as I was saying, very important day, and I mean, all the races I think will be challenging. Okay, all the races will be challenging just because the states are Democrat heavy, but let's see what happens. New Jersey, I think, is one where there's a possibility that we might see a Republican victory, but who knows? I mean, the Democrat is still leading. California, Proposition 50, I'm not going to make a prediction. Let's see what happens. In Virginia, I think Jason Miyares has good chance of success in the Attorney General's race. Winsome, I don't know if she's going to win or not. Let's wait and see. So, yeah, I don't have much to add. 2025 election day. Let's see what happens. So that's pretty much all I have today, my friends. I'm not gonna. I started this live stream really late. I'm not gonna continue for too long here. And Yeah. So I'm going to wrap it up now. Thank you all for being here, keeping this short, not even a full hour. Um, hopefully, the elections go properly. Mm, yeah. We'll come back and discuss the results. All right, my friends, thank you all for being here. Um, I appreciate you all very much. Sorry that this live stream was kind of late. Also, the time change, going from the daylight saving time to standard time, it kind of affected my schedule a little bit too. Um, but I appreciate you all being here. Thank you, my friends. May God bless you all. May God bless President Donald J. Trump. May God bless the Trump administration. May God bless our Republican leaders in Washington. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless our U.S. allies. And may God bless freedom loving people all over the world. Thank you, my friends. And I'm going to be back again soon. Remember, together we will make America great again. So have a wonderful night. And I'm going to be back again very soon with new videos and more live stream. Thank you. Good night.